Here is the video for lesson 32. This one is the second to the last one for the end of module 4. After this one, you've got some word problems, and then we'll check it all out and see what you remember. This one is kind of like using your math sense to look at words and see if you can find matching expressions, numerical expressions, also known as equations and things like that. And then it's going to move from that to seeing if you can take a numerical expression and turn it into some words. So this first one right here, it says circle the expression that is equivalent to the difference between these two numbers, and then it's divided by a fifth. So this is what happens first. This is what happens second. And so we have to pay attention. Difference. If you're finding the difference between two things, you're figuring out how much bigger one is than the other, the difference between the two. So it's subtracting. And then after you've subtracted, then you're finding, what if you divide that by 5? So we can see that this one right here has the subtraction, but this one does not, because this is adding. That's a problem. This one right here, we are subtracting. This one also, too, right here, we are subtracting. So let's work our way from this side. If I read this out loud, this is saying 1/5 divided by 7 minus 4 is 3. 1/5 divided by 3. But that can't be true because we have to find the difference and then divide it by a fifth. So that one can't be an option. And we already eliminated that one because it's adding. Let's look at this one. 7 minus 4 divided by 5. So, yep, that one will work. Because when we read the fraction from the top down, we get our division problem. 7, take away 4, you'll get a 3, divided by 1/5, divided by a fifth. So this one will work also. Now, let's take a look at circle the expression that's equivalent to 42 divided by the sum of this. So in order, I'm going to make a guitar around it. Oh, that's funny. In order to make a division problem, in order to divide 42 by something else, this has to happen first. And it's sum, so it means we have to add in here. And so on this one, we can read this upside down and go 42 divided by the sum of these two. That'll work. When we look at this one, we say 42 divided by sum, because we're adding these two. That one works. This right here is saying that we're going to say 42 divided by 2/3, and then we're going to add on to that 3/4. That won't work. This one, we're going to find the sum and then divide it by 42. If it was switched around, it would work, but it's not. So, nix that. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to one of the more complicated ones down here. There was a good one. Let's see if I can find it. Lee is sending out 32 birthday party invitations. She gives 5 invitations to her mom to give to family members. Lee mails 1/3 of the rest, and then she takes a break to walk her dog. So she's got 32 invitations. She's going to give 5 away, so that's going to be subtracting, right? And then she mails 1/3 of the rest, so that's going to be dividing. 1/3 of the rest, and then she takes a break to walk her dog. Write a numerical expression to describe how many Lee has already mailed in this case. So if she's sending out 32, 32 is what she's got. She gives, here she is giving 5 away. And then the next thing she's going to do is she's going to mail 1/3 of the rest. So if we do that and we figure out 32 minus 5, and then we divide that by 3, that should tell us how many she mailed before taking the break with the dog. And then we're going to take a look at this next part. Which expression matches how many she'll still need to send out? So if it's 1/3, here's another way to look at that, is 32 minus 5. And then if we do that first, and then we divide it by 3, then we'll have 1/3 of it. How much is she not doing though right off the bat? That one's going to be 2/3, right? Because if this is 1/3, so if we did the opposite of that and we said 32 minus 5, and then we say divided by 2/3 maybe. What do you think? Let's see what we've got here. I don't see any. Oh, here's one right here with 2/3. So it's figuring out what is 2/3 of 32, and then you take 5 away. That doesn't quite seem right, does it? Here's 32, you take 5 away, you divide by 1/3. That seems like it could be true because it's kind of taking the opposite of this if we divide it by 1/3. So let's kind of work it out and see what happens. 32 minus 5, that's going to give us 27, I believe. Because 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Yep. And then if we divide that by 3, that means that she's sending 9 to start with. So then if we say, what's the difference between 27 and 9? 27 minus 9, we know that 7 and 9, so 9, that takes all of the 7 away, and then 2 more, so that's going to get us 18. So it means she'll have 18 left. So when we look at this and we go 32, take 5 away, you end up with 27. And then if we say 27 over 1 times 1/3, 3 goes into itself once, 3 goes into 27 9 times. So that matches what we got. So that must be true. Do you see kind of my mistake here? I was thinking divided by 2/3, but it actually should be divided by 1/3. Like this one. If you take it and then you divide it by 1/3, you'll get your 9. This one we figured out it's going to get too big because if you go 2/3 times 32, it should only be 27. That won't work. If we look at this one and we say 32 minus 5, and then you take 1/3 away again, this one you got your 27. Yeah, there's too much going on with that one. That one won't work. So you're kind of going back and forth between the written expressions and the wording. So for your homework problem tonight, I would like you to write a numerical expression for equivalent expression in numerical form. For this one right here, 1/4 as much as the product. This is multiplying, it's the product of 2/3 and 8/10. So this, you can make a fraction, a decimal, kind of up to you. That's why I'm only picking this one. Do this one. And that's it. I'll see you tomorrow.